Welcome to Riches Revealed, revealing how to improve your finances and lead a richer life. Coming to you from the scruffy little city of Knoxville, Tennessee, is financial planner Jack Martin.
So big news in politics and the country today, Sunday, July 21st. So Joe Biden has decided to not seek re-election after all. He sent a letter to the public. He did not address the nation as one might expect about a decision like this. He is apparently recovering from COVID right now, so that would be a reason for it. It's a one-page statement. I'll read you the most pertinent part here. It says, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interests of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision." But when you look at this, he does not give a reason that he's stepping down. He doesn't say, "I don't feel that I'm able to fulfill my duties." Obviously doesn't say anything about having cognitive problems or anything doctors might have said. And he does say in here that he wants to focus on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. So looking at this letter, it's pretty apparent that he intends to fulfill the remainder of his term. There will be some calls for him to step down. I don't really expect those to come from the left. In fact, I'm almost certain they won't come from the left. And the reason is because they've accomplished what they wanted. The reason they wanted Joe Biden out of the office so badly, wanted him to not run for re-election, I should say, is because of the fact that they felt after his debate performance that he was going to lose. And they feel that by getting him off the ticket, they have a better chance of winning with somebody else. So I don't expect the criticisms about him remaining in office to come from the left at this point. It was shocking to see after the debate how quickly the left turned on him. I mean, all his allies on CNN quickly turned on him. And again, I think that is just because of the fact that they felt that they were going to lose to Donald Trump. So now that they've accomplished this, I expect that they will go forward and praise him and say what a statesman he is. And then the question really becomes, to my mind, what are they going to do to replace him on the ticket? From what I've seen so far today, it appears that Kamala Harris can immediately inherit the funds that are in the election account. I believe that there will be a big push on the left to try and solidify her position because they do want to see somebody who is a black candidate and an Asian candidate and a woman. So it's a whole bunch of criteria for the Democrats that they want to see. So there's going to be a big push to get her on the ticket. I think that the smart thing to do would be to actually have an open process at the convention because it would draw a lot of attention and they might be able to get somebody who's a lot more electable than Kamala Harris is. Kamala Harris wasn't popular in her own party. She's not popular from what people have seen in the public. She may be able to bolster that. They may really get some momentum going behind her, I think, for a while here. But the problem is, can she maintain and build credibility with the American public and convince the American public that she's actually capable and smart enough to do the job? That's going to be the issue for Kamala Harris. She's had problems with her likability in the past. People don't like her laugh. She says a lot of things that really make people scratch their heads, as though she's not really paying attention to what she's saying. So those kind of things are the kind of things that people don't generally get over. Joe Biden himself was known for his gaffes long before he became president, and he never got over those. And So I have the feeling that Kamala Harris will have some of those same obstacles in her way. So some wing of the Democratic Party may be looking to get somebody else on the ticket. If I was a betting man, I would probably put the odds on Kamala Harris being the nominee, but I'm not ruling out the possibility that somebody else could come along as well. Here's why I think it might not be smart for the Republicans to push for Joe Biden to step down immediately, and that is because of the fact that Kamala Harris would then be acting as president during the interim between now and the election, and the number one thing against Kamala Harris, at least the perceived one, is that she's not competent. If she's in office and doesn't do anything too notable, she can then claim that for 4 months that she demonstrated her competence. So I think it's a bad idea for the Republicans, at least politically, to be pushing for this to happen. Now, I realize that it makes sense logically if the man is not competent to run for re-election, and based on what we've seen, he may not be competent to be running the country at all, then it makes sense for him to step down. But I think that when the Speaker of the House calls for Biden to be stepping down, tactically, that's probably an error. I think that Donald Trump in their convention, the convention for the most part was excellent. The speech given by Donald Trump was the problem at the very end. The convention had done a lot to build Donald Trump up as a figure that we could admire, a family man, somebody who in private is just very good-hearted. And then a lot of talk was made about after the shooting that he would be somebody who would be kind of a new man and that he would talk in his speech about bringing people together. Well, he made a couple comments about bringing people together, saying he wanted to become the president for all Americans rather than just half the country. And that was about it. And then he went on an hour and a half long rambling diatribe with all kinds of circular sentences in there that was basically a stump speech. And by that I mean just whatever he was thinking at the moment. Donald Trump could have really nailed down in a lot of ways the election if he had come out and acted like a changed man and said, we need to bring people together. I've been guilty myself of saying things that have driven people apart, but I will do better. That would have persuaded so many people that he was a changed man, that he could become a different person than we saw in the first time around. And when he got up there on the stage after the convention had tried to make that case, he went on an hour and a half long speech, if you can even call it that dissuaded all of us of that. So I don't think it was a good speech for him. It wasn't a Joe Biden kind of moment like he had during the debate. However, he really could have made a good case to the American people. Instead, he just reminded us of what the kind of things are that we didn't like about Donald Trump the first time around. So I think that's about it for today. It should be really interesting going forward to see what the Democrats are going to do in this. I think they do have an opportunity to actually really build some momentum here within their party. I do think, though, that within the party, they may like to have Kamala Harris solidified quickly, but I think it would be better for them politically for the electorate to see them actually have an open process at this point so that they can get a better feel for candidates and that would give them an opportunity then to get somebody in there who would be a stronger candidate than Kamala Harris.
The end.